The following is a Michigan Sesquicentennial Year presentation.
There it is, that infamous hole through the ice that many anglers peer through during the winter to see if they can pull a big fish from there. Well, ice fishing is something that takes a lot of stamina, it takes the right equipment, the right clothing. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Now, what about the ice, though? Well, I got a report. It's not too great. We're going to have to take you ice fishing a couple years ago with Ron Spittler in a southern Michigan lake. We'll talk about ice fishing. You'll see what fun it is. So stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost. It's Thursday night, time for Michigan Outdoors. Well, looks like that while we were setting the tip-ups, I got something over here. Little pike. Was that Jim Waybrand?
Jim Waybrand, yes, he's my technician, and he volunteered to come out and help us try to locate some fish today.
You think ice fishermen overfish the lakes?
No, and we're in Oakland County, and you can see today there's not a large crowd. We're having a pretty fair fishery here.
Well, let's see that, Jim. Is that legal size? Well, we have to have a 20-inch pike here in Michigan to be legal. And we have a very typical 19 and a half incher.
3/4.
19 and 3/4. Did you bring the fish stretcher, Ron?
Just stomp on him real good. That'll do it.
Well, we're going to have to turn him back. What did he hit on?
Minnow.
Is he still hooked? Okay, well, he just got hooked in the corner of the mouth. And that's oftentimes what happens with the pike when they run off with the bait like this. Gonna get him okay? Well, that's a northern pike. There's some big northern pike that are taken out of Michigan through the ice, oftentimes speared, but many times with tip-ups. Now, you weren't fishing for pike. We're here in almost 30 feet of water. And how deep down were you fishing, Jim?
About 20 feet.
Oh, here he goes. A little sluggish, but he'll find his way back. Look, ooh, took right off. Well, let's get set up for panfish. Let's see how Bob Allen is doing over here. Bob has 4 fish on the ice. You can see him right here. We got, 2 crappies and 2 small bluegill. Now, what I have was flopping around my neck here. You ever seen one of these?
No.
A muff. Mighty muff, this one is called. There's different types. Just put your hand in there. Go ahead and try that.
That's pretty nice.
Not too bad.
No, I bring a little heater with me.
I know. Now, Bob Allen, you're an insurance man here in
Yes.
Oakland County?
Yes, I am.
Stand up just a second here. Let's look at your ice fishing rig. He's seated here on a hot seat type of deal, and keeps all his fishing gear in this little sled which you pull. And what kind of heater is this?
That's a Coleman. That's a Coleman heater, and it's got a Crisco can over the top of it to
sort of diffuse some of the heat?
Yeah, it kind of protects it a little bit.
Well, let's see. This is how Bob fishes. This is how he got the 4. Sitting here like this on the ice sled, keeping his hands warm, tending to the 2 ice fishing rods. Now, these rods, they're set up special so you can set them on the ice with a little tripod here. I'm going to take that thing off for a second. And this is what's called a sneaky bobber. You want to explain this little spring bobber or sneaky bobber on the end, Bob?
Well, when the fish are biting in the wintertime, they bite so light that you really can't tell just from your rod if you've got a bite or not. So it's kind of nice to be able to, well, you can see every time I move the rod just a little bit there, just pulling the line, how sensitive that thing is.
Sure, so you can watch it. One thing, your hands are oftentimes a little cold. The rod is short, and you don't feel the fish pulling. Plus, the fish don't hit very hard in the winter.
No, they don't. They really do hit light, especially the bigger fish. Seems like sometimes the bigger the fish is, the lighter they hit.
Okay, well, you caught these on minnows. Maybe the action will pick up. We're fishing here midday.
That pike scared them away.
Well, now, that could be. Sometimes a pike cruising through can do that. What are you going to use for bait, Ron?
Well, believe it or not, I'm going to pick a lazy way and go with a piece of sponge.
Piece of sponge?
Just like the steel headers.
Is that a lazy way or a cheap way?
Maybe it's a little bit of both. I don't have to run around and buy the bait and keep it in my refrigerator, which my wife hates to see when I'm not fishing, of course. And it stays on the hook well.
Where is your sponge here?
Well,
I want to see this. Now, I have never heard of ice fish.
You haven't?
Just with a piece
I'm not using that piece.
But you're going to break off a piece of that?
Break off a small piece of it.
Well, like how? Let's see how you do that.
If I can even handle it with my cold fingers here. Just a little piece. I'll
That size?
put one on a hook and give you a
No.
better idea.
Is this the hook you're going to use?
Yes.
Now, this is what we'd call a teardrop type of lure, ice fishing lure. It's normally baited with something. Now, what good is this going to do?
It imitates a chunk of meat just like a waxworm or mousey would. I've
Well-
caught a lot of fish on it.
Wouldn't the fish come up and sort of smell or taste a bait? Isn't that the principle behind a waxworm? Or?
You got me, because there's no smell or taste to that, and they take it.
But they do.
Just gives them a little bit.
Now,
something to look at.
do you jig a little bit with it while you fish?
Sure. I'll get it wet here. Normally the sponge will swell up just a little bit, and it has a nice light action, light color. It's not a particularly good piece, but I'm going to work with it anyhow.
Now, ice fishing is not a sport, obviously, that you have to go to a great expense to do. You don't need a boat, no
That's
motors,
right.
no trailers.
Anywhere you can walk is accessible to you as long as you gain access to it legally, and a few bucks will get you into the equipment to do it. So and you don't even have to have a piece of equipment to cut through the ice if you follow the other fishermen around.
Well, looking at things to wear, you have on, I heard you telling Bob, a pair of what, $11 moon boots?
I think there are 13 on
13.
sale. Yeah, they're just foam-lined, inexpensive boots that are thick and heavy, and they get me by. I've tried everything, and I've got apparently poor circulation or cold, warm blood or whatever, but I get cold feet easily, and these are the thing that has really helped me.
Okay, well, you need a knit hat, a snowmobile suit. Let's see what some of the other folks are wearing now. Me, I am not outfitted like I should be. I am wearing leather boots right here, and they're bear greased, and so they're waterproof, but they are not the warmest things to wear on the ice. I'm going to have to invest in some moon boots. And you're wearing the felt pack, rubber bottomed.
Actually, no. There's I got the bottoms from some Sorels, but like Ron, I'm wearing the foam
You have a
packs from a pair of
foam.
moon boots.
I'll be darned, and inserted it in there. Well, now, here's another pair of boots for you folks that really want to keep your feet warm, called the Mickey Mouse boot, right?
Actually, these aren't Mickey Mouses. They look like
Yeah?
Mickey Mouses, but
Oh,
they're white like the Mickey Mouse, but they're felt-lined boots. And I don't have too much of a problem with cold feet, but these do keep me very warm. I don't have any problems at all.
Okay, well, this is...
That's a happy ice fisherman, one who doesn't have problems with the cold. Insulated boots, snowmobile suit, mittens, a small gas heater, all of these are inexpensive, just as ice fishing tackle is inexpensive. In the winter, fish don't move as quickly as in the summer, so if you locate a hungry school, you can oftentimes catch a pile of tasty panfish. No boat is needed, and for once, you can fish anywhere in the lake, a big advantage of ice fishing in Michigan outdoors.